A lot of you who have been following me found out about my bear incident in my yard last night. I live in bear country, running into bear coming around. That's just par for the course, right? I live next to a bog, and all game of every kind follow the bog because that's where the food is, right? There's frogs and birds and animals go to the bog to drink, and there's fish. So there's all kinds of food around the bog. Right now, there's cranberries. There's low bush cranberries. This peat moss bog is loaded with low bush cranberries, and the bear like to eat cranberries, so don't deer, right? Fox, all of them. So it's never a surprise when I see a bear in my yard, up on my deck, trying to get in my vehicle, trying to get in my chicken coops, up in the garden with me. So where I live, I get almost zero reception on my phone, which is what I'm using here. So in case if there's an emergency, we rely on walkie-talkies. Okay, they will reach every house on this road, which is over a mile long. In the woods, it reaches a mile through the woods, folks. And this is a Motorola, okay? I always take the clips off because the clips, I don't care what kind of walkie-talkie you get, folks, the clips are usually no good. They don't clamp hard enough to your pocket, your waistband, to your belt, whatever. So that's the first thing that comes off. I do have a very sturdy, rugged carrying case that fits all of my walkie-talkies, and I'm going to show you what I've got down by my feet. This has a very strong clamp. This has never come off my pocket at all. Walkie-talkies that have the clamp that you can snap on and off, you sit down, you bend over, you go through brush, you walk through the woods, and you're having to go find it and put it back on, put it back on where it came from, right? So we use Motorola in here. No, I'm not affiliated. We use Motorola in here because it has, see that orange button? That is an emergency alert button. So if you get into trouble, you cannot talk, or you don't have time to talk, you can't find the push to talk button, that orange button right there, you press it for 3 seconds and it sets off this screaming alarm that gets everybody that has one of these and tuned into your channel, station, whatever your frequency and channel. I don't have my glasses on, folks. And that'll wake you up right out of a dead sleep. And then it gives you like 20-30 seconds to state your business, if that's what you need to do. So that emergency alert button has proven itself worthy in here more times than we would like to count. When the bear came up on my sister's porch and grabbed a goat and hauled hauled it down off her deck, that emergency alert button comes in handy. When her goat hung itself, that came in handy. When she fell, broke her hip, that comes in handy. Or when there's a bear that won't let me get into my house, that comes in handy, right? So let's say you fall, or you have a stroke or whatever, and you cannot communicate. Hopefully you can find that orange button and press it for 3 seconds to let somebody know in your party that there is an emergency, right? So let me show you what I've got. I've got 4 of them down here, folks, and I'll show you a big mistake that I made. So the Motorola, the newer ones, this is another one. This is one I use quite often. It's a Motorola Talkabout. I don't know. They stopped making them, folks. They stopped making them. But the emergency button is down on the side. That orange button, that's the emergency button. Now, when I have it in my little carrying case, I would have to unsnap the carrying case, pull the walkie-talkie out before I could use that button. Well, that could be 2 or 3 seconds. 2 or 3 seconds count, folks. Okay, but I still use this quite a lot. So there's one. I think this is a 460. 460, 465. The older Motorola's, such as this one here, battery's still good. Older Motorola's, even though it has an orange button, that's the push to talk, it does not have an emergency button. It doesn't. But this has quite a bit of range. This was one that my mom and my stepdad used to use when they went in the woods. They would each have one of these. So these are quite old. And again, I don't have my glasses on. I couldn't even tell you what it is, but it's a Talkabout Motorola, old enough so it does not have that emergency push button. This one here is one they had as an extra, and it is a Cobra. It doesn't have an emergency alert button. Turns on. It's on the correct station. I just shut it off. So there's 4. There's 3 Motorola, which I like because we feel in here that we need that push to talk function. Like I said, or maybe I didn't, but I'm going to say it again if I did. There are very few radios out there that have that push to talk emergency button, that have that orange emergency button. Motorola is where it's at in here. Now, I'm going to get into why I'm showing you all of these radios. There is also ham radios. Okay? This happens to be a Baofeng, and it is a 5R. This right here, you need a license to run. Those other 4 that I showed you do not. This one needs a license, unless there is an emergency, and then you can use it and not get your hand slapped. Okay? This right here, the whole package. The whole package. I got a hell of a deal on this. $35. It came with 2 batteries. It came with a charging station. It came with this, I call it a whip antenna, I'm not sure. And it comes with a shorter antenna. It comes with a clamp mouthpiece, so you can clamp it if you have to have hands-free, voice activated, push to talk, whatever. And it just clamps and you can use it that way. The reason I got this one is because this has a longer range. It'll reach further than a mile. And maybe if there was a blizzard in here, which we've had, where we have been stuck in here, and we need help, this will reach anybody that has a radio that will accept this signal more than like these will. Again, a mile. It says they're 35-mile range. I think that's mountaintop to mountaintop with no obstructions. So the problem with this, with me, I've got it. The battery's a charge. I've turned it on. I can't figure out how to use it, folks. It's beyond my comprehension. So, don't be a dummy like I am and have it and not learn how to use it. Because it does no good to have something like this that could save your life to alert others on the outside that there is an emergency, somebody needs help, and not know how to use it. Right? Am I kicking myself in the ass for not getting at this sooner? Yep, I've had this about 3 years, folks. 3, 4. So, I'm going to get on the ball. Cousin Shay said she'd help me with that. Why am I talking about communication? I don't have reception with my cell phone here in the woods. I need a form of communication so I could reach the family members up the road. I bought each house a walkie-talkie, right? So I had to buy a few sets, right? That way, there's a form of communication. If they have cell reception and I don't, they all know what's going on, and I'm out here playing in my garden and not having a clue that I'm needed up there, right? Communication and the walkie-talkies have been so valuable in here, folks, that we feel we can't go without them. The problem with walkie-talkies, and if you live alone and you are in an area where you don't know anyone, or if you don't trust anyone, you buy a set, you have both of them in your hand, and you're wondering who can get the other one within range, right? That I would find that a little maddening and a little frustrating. You're trying to be prepared, but who do you trust to be responsible enough to make sure that the batteries stay charged and are willing to do radio checks once a month, push that emergency alert button to make sure it's still working, right? So there are limitations to everything that I just showed you. This one here is my mistake. I need to get my ass in gear and learn how to use this in case there's an emergency. I have failed at that. It says dual band FM transceiver, Bofang UV5R. Now I know, see, this says SP, Mike.
Frequency mode.
I can turn it on, but I don't know what any of those numbers are with the dots, and there's another set of numbers underneath. No idea, folks. It's above my level of understanding and comprehension. I need to have it set up. I need to know where the basic functions are to call out and to respond if somebody is trying to contact me. Basic. I need to know the basics. Somebody needs to put the frequency in there, set it up, and then I could leave it alone, leave everything as it is, and have it on hand. Keep it charged up. I could put one battery in and use it, and I could be charging the other one with my Jackery, right? That's what I've got. I've got a 400 watt Jackery. That's how I charge my cell phone. That is how I charge my walkie-talkies, right? So, communication is very, very, very important. If you need help, you can't get a hold of anyone by your phone, hopefully you have some other form of communication so you can get help. So again, this is almost 17 minutes long, and it's going to take probably a whole day to load up, because since I mentioned 2 or 3 videos ago, CLIMATE space CHANGE, YouTube hasn't been very nice to me. Everything has slowed down. I can read the comments. I can't respond to the comments again. It'll take forever and a day to load up an 11 or 15 minute video. And then it'll take 2 or 3 hours after that, after it's loaded up, for them to do their checks to accept the video or reject the video. So, I won't go into any more than that. I know some of you are just as frustrated as I am. All right, y'all be good. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you've learned something. This here is good. Some people rely on CBs. Off-grid Amy. They rely on gamers. I know a lot of other people rely on, what is it, FRS? Don't know, folks, don't know. Some of us rely on walkie-talkies. Some of us rely just on our cell phones, right? Which I am unable to do here. All right, you all be good. Thank you very much. Appreciate you stopping by. Hopefully we'll never have to use any of these skills, any of these. Hopefully we'll never ever have to use them. But they're awfully nice to have and to know how to use, right? And not need them, and then need them and not have them.